From KPRC2, this is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
The pictures last week along the Texas-Mexico border did not look good, no matter how you slice it. Seeing thousands of Haitians grouped under a bridge after crossing over from Mexico, or seeing U.S. Border Patrol agents on horseback aggressively working to keep some of those migrants from crossing into the country. This after immigration attention was most recently focused on refugees from Afghanistan, as thousands from that country have been making their way to the United States after the U.S. pullout from that country. And let's not forget the regular influx along the border, those from Mexico and Central American countries in numbers that have been stressing the system for months. Gordon Kwan knows all about those issues. The former Houston Council member is a principal partner of the Kwan Law Group that focuses on immigration. Good morning to you. Good to see you again, Gordon. Is there any way that you can describe the United States immigration process right now as anything but a mess?
Cambrell, I'll tell you, I think the Biden administration is caught really between a rock and a hard place. You have people saying, let them in, be more humane. Or you have others saying, we have enough. We don't need any more of these people. Let's see how we can block them and keep them out. So they're walking a very fine line to try to balance what obligations we have internationally under treaties of our human rights, at the same time maintaining health and safety of the country, and an orderly system to try to process people in the country.
Let's talk about some of that. The latest issue that's come to the media focus, and there are a lot of other issues that are not in the media focus, but this one was the Haitians along the Texas border. And reaction, Special Envoy actually described the Biden administration's treatment of those folks as humane before he resigned in protest. Even for those of you who are pro-immigration, how can what happened last week be a good thing when you have thousands of Haitians making their way to the border? You talk about that, about our obligations internationally, but many of those have been allowed to come into the country, and you have those folks say, wait a minute, that's too much. There's too much. How do you balance that, and how do you make immigration look like a positive thing when this is going on?
Well, I'll tell you, what we see, and it's obviously a very complicated issue,
right?
But what we have agreed to are helping people who are refugees, who meet certain criteria for immigration. Either they're outside their homeland, they can't return because of persecution based on race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. What's unique about a lot of the Haitians we're seeing are they're not directly coming from Haiti, but up from Chile and other countries in Central and South America. And are they coming because of persecution, or are they coming for economic gain? And that, I think, is why we're seeing a certain different standard being applied and people being returned or repatriated back to Haiti. They don't meet the criteria in general of refugee as our law defines.
How do you fix this problem? I mean, it's clearly a broken system. And I know, obviously, if you were the guy who had that answer, you'd be worth $1 trillion billion. But what kind of suggestions do you have for those who are in a position to fix the problem, to try to make headway, to make this system a little bit better?
Well, I think the system has been overwhelmed by the number of people that are coming right now. But if I were in charge, there's a bill in the Senate, actually, that both Republicans and Democrats have supported, by Kristen Sinema of Arizona and our own John Cornyn, which was to set up these major screening centers, like 5 of them around the border, to get people there, to give them their day in court, let them present their case, show well-founded fear of persecution, that they meet that criteria. If they meet that criteria, we'll let them in. If they don't meet that criteria, sorry, that's not what our laws and our country is set up to handle.
Would this be set up outside the U.S. or inside the U.S.?
These are set up along the U.S.-Mexican border, so they would be in the United States at these big processing centers.
So, you know what, I think Republicans have been really rather masterful in focusing on the border as a political thing. Very early on, as a political wedge, in fact. They used the Texas border and immigration as a talking point in the first weeks of the Biden administration. You might remember they referred to it, and they continue to refer to it, as open border policies. Well, that's not the policy, but it's in the, they put it in the atmosphere, much like repeal and replace, stop the steal, those kind of things. But now we're in the situation, do we talk about the possibility of politics actually making the idea of getting solutions even more difficult? Politics getting in the way of all of this?
Unfortunately, Gambrell, that is clearly the situation. I think everybody recognizes we have a problem. Coming up with a solution that everybody can agree upon is certainly the problem here. Biden came in and said that within the first 30 days in office, he would propose an immigration bill that would be fair and generous and just. He then outlined a plan, and that has been DOA, dead on arrival. The Republicans have said, no way, Jose, this is going to go anywhere. But it's that idea that we would have a more generous policy that has propelled a lot of people to say, hey, I'm going to take Biden up on his word. I'm going to come to America and see if, in fact, I can qualify. So I think that he has good intentions, and I think he's getting people in place, but it takes a long time. You know, it's that old saying, it's like a battleship. You can't turn it overnight. Trump had made over 1,000 changes in the immigration law, making it more difficult for people to immigrate. Since Biden's been in office, he's reversed many of those policies, but it takes time. The director of USCIS, or Jadu, has only been in her position for like 6 weeks so far. So getting people in place, getting policies in place, beginning to address this overall problem is where we are now. And that's why you're seeing such a catastrophe, because they don't have the system in place that needs to address such a volume of people.
In the meantime, you got all these people coming in. Politics won't allow this to continue. Biden is certainly going to suffer politically as this continues. Would you agree or not?
I think in the short term, it certainly is a losing card for him. If he can find a way to resolve this amicably, I mean, it'll be a miracle. Gambrell, we have not seen major change in our immigration system in over 32 years. So that shows the enormity of this problem, because nobody will sit down and work it out between the two of them. You talk about politics getting in place. As you may recall, there was this thing called the Gang of Eight. They got together, proposed a plan, passed the Senate, but the Republicans would not even let it come up for a vote in the House. Yeah. So trying to get both sides to agree on something is tremendously difficult.
Well, we got more to talk about. We're going to continue our conversation on Newsmakers Extra online on click2houston.com on the Newsmakers page. Gordon, thank you for joining me this week and sticking around for that conversation.